Okay, public opinion versus facts. I'm gonna clarify something really quick. Last video I made some comments about drugs. Those were comments and allegations made by other people. I was just pointing out on how a lot of them, there's no way it could have happened that way. That was not my opinion. So with public opinion versus facts, if you think about it, you have celebrities, you have politicians, athletes. If they look at a case, they take on an idea that this is the way it actually happened, and they make comments about it, it can ruin lives. And it has ruined lives. People's lives have been destroyed. They had nothing to do with it, but because public opinion thought they did, their lives were over. I've actually read a lot of studies about individuals who were put in prison for the wrong reasons. They were released. They didn't commit the crime, but public still thought they did. And so this is long lasting. We have to watch what we do and what we say when it comes to putting accusations on other people. The survivors of this incident are going to live with this the rest of their lives. And everything said about them on the internet is going to hold, and it's going to stick in their minds. It's to be reminded of it. And if they had something to do with it, it will come out. And I'll explain later when I talk about an individual who's conducting the investigation. So we've got to watch ourselves and slow down, take a breath. The reason I mentioned that what this stuff will come out is because a lot of people, and even one of the victim's family's lawyers was talking about Brett Payne, the officer who was put in charge of the investigation. He's a lead investigator in this. He's been with the Moscow PD for 2 years at that point. Everybody's like, oh, that's a rookie. Yeah, very much so a rookie. Usually 5 years into the game before you even understand where you can handle pretty much any call given to you. 2 years is pretty new, but we have to also look at Officer Payne. He spent years with the 82nd Airborne in Afghanistan. To become airborne, you've got to really be detail oriented. A lot of those things he brought with him into the game. But the reason I made that statement earlier about if any of those individuals are involved, it will come out. And the reason why is Officer Payne is not the only one doing this investigation. You have FBI agents, you got state police, you've got other city officers, you've got county officers. There's a lot of people involved in this. A lot of people are involved in this investigation. And so with all these people involved and all this information being put together, if those individuals had anything to do with it, it will be brought out. And so a lot of the conspiracies, a lot of the ideas, a lot of people want answers. People want to know why it happened, how it happened. They want to know everything, and they want someone to blame. They want someone to blame right now. They wanted somebody in custody that night. Investigations don't work that way, especially when you don't have eyewitnesses to say, I watched this happen, I seen this individual do it, this is where the individual went. This is, it doesn't happen that way. These officers did a great job catching this guy as quickly as they did and tracking him down. And so we just have to watch public opinion. It's okay. I love the idea that people are out there doing some research, learning how things work. I love that idea, but we have to watch out what we say on the internet for accusations. I'm not telling nobody to not say anything. That's your constitutional right, but just be careful. There's another thing is people were asking a few questions on how could this happen? How could one individual commit this type of a crime? April 27, 2019 in Sumner County, Tennessee, an individual killed 8 people in one, I think there were 6 in one trailer. And they were from child to 50s and 60s. And they were stabbed and beaten. 8 people total. And that was just out of rage. So people want an excuse or an answer. People are like, well, it's got to be drugs. It's either, if it's college, it's got to be a sexual crime or drugs. And that's not the case either. I've read a lot of serial killers, a lot of their books, a lot of their ideas, not their books, but research on them. These are comments made straight from the serial killer themselves. Despite what the media said, despite what anybody else said, control, a means to an end. This individual made the comment that his crimes committed were one thing, The murder part was just a means to an end. Another one, pornography changed his thoughts. As a 12-year-old boy, he saw soft porn, and he started to develop different ideas and thoughts. He said pornography didn't cause him to do it. He said what pornography did was changed his thought pattern, changed his direction of thought. Another one, power and control. Another one, voices told him to do it. Another one says when he killed, he finally had desire. And this individual was blamed by the media for going into his killing spree. He killed 62 people, and in that killing spree, they said it was because his girlfriend broke up with him. He said that's absolutely not the truth. He's like, I had nothing to do with society to begin with. He said when he started killing, it gave him desire back. Another one was psychological relief. The voices told him to do it. There's so many different things. And other ones are rage, hatred. Some are sexual. So if we think about it, one individual doing these killings, yes, he could have. He was, we don't know. Was he angry? Was he in love? Was he infatuated? Was he obsessed by this person? We don't know. We don't know everything on this, and it will come out in time. I don't believe in all these cartels and all these people that are under control and crooked cops and crooked court systems and crooked. It's unfortunately 4 young individuals lost their lives over a sick act. Why do we have to try to make it out to be something more than it is? Come June, we'll find out a lot more. So I'm not asking anybody to stop thinking. I'm not asking anybody to stop making comments. I don't have any right to do that. That's your choice, and that's okay. But just be careful. That's all. It's just be careful. And other people, just remember, other people's lives are destroyed because of public opinion versus fact. The evidence will come out and play. The evidence will be presented. There's been everything from lawyers to, people are making accusations all over the place how this is going to turn out. Let's just wait to see how it turns out, we are beating a dead horse, and that comment was made, and I agree. And I'm probably going to start leaning towards other cases we have going on right now that we're looking at. And also the one thing the one thing I like doing is helping people, and I want to give as much information as I can on safety and making sure you're secure and safe in your lives. I had one person tell me that what I tell people is stupid when it comes to fighting back. They said that we should look at the source of how to fix this problem at the source. Well, if we go to the source, it's the beginning of man. The beginning of man has been violent. There's nothing you do to change it. You can talk, you can plead, you can beg, you can try to do everything you can, but human nature isn't going to change. Human beings are conquering people, and it doesn't matter where you come from, what country you come from, or who you are, or what you are. We are a conquering people. Human beings are, and we can't control other people's emotions or feelings or thoughts, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it. Nothing. What you can do, though, is prevent yourself from becoming a victim, and that's by being more aware, training yourself and understanding people's behaviors, following their behaviors, paying attention. Watch everything. If something looks out of place in your neighborhood, note it. Just understand that looks out of place. It doesn't look right. Something I've been thinking about a little bit was you have these delivery food. Ever since 2020, they've been delivering food and different items to your home, and just like this Moscow case, we had an individual deliver food. If a young lady is home alone and gets a food delivery, you don't know who's bringing that food to you. And so when that happens, you give it a man's name. I know, don't attack me on this. I'm not saying that women are weak and women can't take care of themselves, but a lot of times they'll throw a person off that wants to cause you harm. If they see a man's name on there, they're just going to maybe just drop and go. The other thing is if you have an escape plan, if you have any windows near your door when that person arrives, don't have the windows closed, the shades closed. They can't see inside and see what's going on in there. Have an escape plan. If you open that door and something happens, have a way out, a way to fight back, and a way to get away from that doorway. Never, ever stand in front of your door when you open the door. You can look through the peephole if you want to. You can look out a window if you want to. Just don't make it obvious. When you open the doorway, stand to the side of the doorknob. Open the door. If they kick that door, it's going to fly open and bypass you. They come through the door, don't realize you're standing right next to them, and you just put some hurt on them. And that's where the training comes into play, where you know where to hit and how to hit, and then you run. You get out of there. Weapons, that's my business. I teach firearms training. I teach self-defense training. And I don't teach people that everybody has to have a gun. I don't believe in that. I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also believe if somebody doesn't want to have a firearm, then good. That's their choice, and that's okay. But find a different fight technique. Find a different fight tool, something that's going to protect you. If you want a firearm, that's also okay. But get the training and understanding of how this firearm works, and know your state laws. Know what you can and cannot do in your state. The biggest thing, though, is pay attention to your surroundings. Be very, very vigilant. Don't be over vigilant, because we can't survive that way. Just pay attention. Just look up every now and then and see what's going on. Take note that that doesn't look right. If it doesn't look right, avoid it. It's really that easy. And so these are just a few things I want to throw out there and just get people thinking again. And I really want to move on to some different cases, different ideas, different thought patterns, different ways of looking at things. And my next seminar coming up in February is going to be on when to use force. When do you use force? Do we have to wait to get punched? Do we have to wait to get shot or stabbed before we can, use our force against them? No, we don't. But we also have to know how to read it and keep ourselves out of court and out of jail. So with these few things said, like I said, it's just some thoughts and ideas, but public opinion does destroy lives. Just be careful. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and have a great night.